if you live in Edmonton and you've lived here for a few years and you go to another city, you're going to say, I can't wait to get back to Edmonton.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to your Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford, and we're live inside Beercade, and we're pumped because it's Game 2 of the LA Kings Oilers series, and we got a lot to talk about on this pregame show. Jay, Tyler, producer Liam, right beside our screen over there, Caroline, and let's freaking go, boys. Game 2.
Yeah, I'm fired up because it's not a must-win game, but it's about the closest thing you can get to a must-win game.
It's a should-win game. Game 1, we have to move on from it. Couple little mistakes. Yes, there's the big one that Mike Smith did, but there's a few others that happened earlier in the game that all led to goals that were easily avoidable. So we know we're better than this. So we just forget about Game 1, move on to Game 2. The boys seem loose. So come out, put on a good big performance, and then it's a whole new series.
And I think they will. I'm confident. First off, Rogers was rocking early in that hockey game. It was unreal.
Such a vibe.
Such a vibe. Outside the rink, inside the rink, it was great. And I think early on, the team, I think that affected the Oilers in maybe not the best way early on. You saw it.
It was a weird start.
It was. Yamamoto's penalty.
Scoring chance within 3 seconds of the game. And I'm like, what is going on? Thankfully, Smith made a big save when we needed it, because if that was a goal, that would have just totally changed the outcome. Well, I guess we couldn't lose any more than we did, but anyways.
But it felt like early on, everyone who was out there just felt like they had to do so much. Like Yamamoto when he took that penalty. Like, you don't do that.
Forcing it.
And I think you're right. They were forcing it a little bit too much early on, whereas tonight, okay, you know what the crowd's going to be like. You know it's going to be loud. And I think it's a good thing for a team to feel a little bit of pressure.
You got to, you don't control the wave controls you. And we try to control the wave, and that's like they were trying to force it. So just let the energy consume you and push you, and don't try and just let it be that. It's there to amplify your game, and it will happen naturally. Do not think about it.
Speaking of the wave, from a more literal sense, I tweeted that I've never seen a fan base do the wave at a 3-3 game, and I just leave it to Edmontonians across the board at any sport. The wave is like a staple at a game.
We're wave mad. I don't. It was so funny because I'm like, it's 3-3. I'm stressed out, and then I saw the wave, and I'm like, wow, this like that was such a peculiar point in the game.
Usually, you're up 4-1, and it's like, we're doing the wave now. We're having a good time. Like, I don't know how people could do it. I was way too stressed.
I was so stressed. So that's the thing. Like the game gets intense, and it's down to nothing. I'm mad. I'm just mad. I'm mad. Big 2-1 goal there at the end by Connor, which was an unreal goal. Then we tie the game, and that's when I kind of go to my a higher level of kind of just craziness, where I jump up and down uncontrollably, lose my breath, and almost faint. That's kind of something that always happens when I'm in big high pressure games, when the game is actually back in play.
Yeah. And that McDavid goal, you want to talk about a player doing something like that, but also at the perfect time, right? You couldn't go into the intermission down 2-rip. No. They needed some sort of positive momentum, and McDavid scoring that goal the fashion he did, the ear celebration right past the Kings bench. To me, that set the tone for their best period, which was the second period.
Yeah, no, they won the period 2-1.
You need your big guns to be leaders, and I think McDavid and even Draisaitl. I thought Draisaitl played a really good game. He scored the power play goal. He drew a couple of penalties as well. The Oilers' special teams was great. Perfect. Like I said, the second period was good. The start, I'd excuse a slow start. Third period wasn't great, but I don't know. I
think they were playing not to lose in the third period, right? So it kind of, and that's why I wish we were kind of pouring on the attack like we did in the second period, because we could have ran away with it. But, then it happened.
Do we want to, let's talk about it, because it's the the biggest trending topic, I think, since the game.
Yeah.
Mike Smith. I know, Tyler, you think that he didn't lose the game for the Oilers. In my opinion, I think he did. I think the context of the situation with it being in the third period, a tie game, last 5 minutes of the game, you have a 40-year-old goalie who's a vet in the league.
Yeah.
He needs to be smarter. And, it's so funny. Like, I'd say about 10 minutes prior to that moment, I was saying to Mike, I turned to Mike and I'm like, I think that Smith is too like lackadaisical when he just leaves the net. I'm like, I don't even think it's high risk, high reward anymore. I think it's too consistent from him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see him make that mistake. It's so unfortunate. Obviously, he didn't intentionally do that. It's a mistake and a lessons learned, and I definitely think he should be starting tonight. But just such an unfortunate moment for the Oilers because they could have come out of that game as a Game 1 winner.
Yeah, and they could have. I mean, no guarantee that if Smith doesn't do that, they find a way to win in OT, but that was the mistake that cost them the winning goal. So, yeah, I understand the jump to like, hey, it cost them the game. The thing, and me and you would know it from watching Smith for the last 2 years, every 10 to 12 games, you get that.
Yeah,
And they hadn't had it for a while,
I
so
know.
you were due for a bad Schmitty moment.
And there's a sound clip if you listen to Real Life that you can take where I'm like, he hasn't done the gaff yet. It seems like he's calm now, like he's not going to do anything. Like the funny thing is about it, and not to just keep applying pressure, like that wasn't even an option for him what he chose to do.
I
And
know.
then he did it, which was so weird. But anyways, you know what? He owned up to his
Yes, I love
it
that.
as a mistake. But there was two mistakes, soft mistakes earlier that Cece and Russell both made that led to goals that kept the puck into the zone when they just blindly kind of soft threw it up the boards when we had no winger there. So gave back possession or had the Kings maintain possession in our zone. Both of those led to goals. So it was a little bit deeper. So we were just a little bit loose in a couple areas, but we played well enough to win that game. We just made some mistakes. So we beat ourselves. My concern, and not concern, but just hopefully Mike Smith isn't putting too much pressure on himself to over deliver the win today because of his mistake.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do that. Like, Kate, that's on me. I have to go do this. So you don't want him being in there and forcing things. Just go and do your thing and let the other guys around you go do their thing, and we'll win this game.
But here's why I'm confident in Mike Smith going into tonight, which, again, I haven't been confident in him very much this season. When we've seen him make those big gaffes, you rarely get a stretch where he makes multiple.
Yep.
Usually, like a turtle, right? He's back in his shell a little bit,
Yeah.
and he knows, or like when you yell at like a little kid, right? The little kid does something wrong, you give him hell, and then it's good for a little bit, and they behave for a while, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's on their best behavior.
Parenting tips by Tyler
Exactly.
Ramchuk.
By
Because
that
I know.
theory, though, you'd rather him get it done in Game
Yes,
1.
yes,
Yep.
It's
over with. Done.
with.
Yeah.
So, honest to God, I love that theory by Tyler, and we're going
It
to
is.
roll with that because I also believe in positive energy.
100%.
And one thing I learned yesterday, because we did an article for Oilers Nation about the positive faith behind Mike Smith at the moment. There are a lot of Oilers Nation fans that weren't necessarily happy with that moment, but they still have faith in Mike Smith. They think that he should be starting Game 2, that these things happen, and that the boys need to regroup because at the end of the day, it's not the end of the road for the Oilers. It's Game 1.
Game 1.
It's a long marathon that we got ahead of us. And I think Mike Smith, Jay, I love that you brought up the fact that he owned his mistake. And I think you could tell in the post presser that he was just very confident in being like, all right, that happened. We got to move on because Game 2 is right around the corner. And I love to hear that because whether you're the Leafs who just blew out the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-0 or you're the Oilers who dropped that game, you got to move on either way, and that game doesn't matter. So if you're on a high or a low, you got to move on, and it's a completely different day today.
And I think the players are subscribing exactly to that. So they're just like, okay, we messed up, we move on. I didn't get any sense of fracture within the resolve of the team. They're just like, okay, we screwed up, we know we're better, and we move on to Game 2. So that gave me a lot of confidence. So there's no reason to stress. Of course, there's a lot of trauma. We got swept last playoff times, and then we got the play-in round. There's a lot of trauma with us Oilers fans, but this is a different squad. They're here. They're a solid unit. They're well coached right now. Everyone's playing their best hockey at the right time. We just have to believe in the process. Not every series is going to be a sweep. Yeah, you want to win Game 1, and maybe, sure, if you lost Game 2, you'd feel a bit better. But you know what? We're just going to do the reverse. We're going to go down. We're going to go down to LA, series tied, and give them hell on the road.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's reasonable to feel confident. The Oilers in their last 15 home games of the season, 14-0-1. They were nearly unbeatable on home ice, and they really didn't lose back-to-back games on home ice in that stretch either. They were so good at Rogers. They were also so good at 5-on-5 down the stretch. So it was weird to watch them get outplayed at 5-on-5 in Game 1.
Yeah.
And they were so good against the LA Kings in the last few months of the season. I just think for that LA team to play that good again and for the Oilers to not have their A game back-to-back nights, I just don't see that happening.
You guys spoke about Connor and Draisaitl, obviously the big guns for the Oilers, but my MVP from game one was Kyler Yamamoto. One
playoff
goal,
Yam.
one
Playoff.
assist, absolutely relentless the entire game on the ice, and just a vibe. When you see Kyler Yamamoto, he's happy, he's into it, but like he seems relaxed.
Yeah.
And it's an energy, like I get chills talking about it. It's an energy I hope that he keeps going for the rest of the series and hopefully the Oilers playoff, but it's just a guy that's kind of really brought the team to another level, and I'm happy to see it from Yamamoto.
I think Yamamoto's character. I think he
Yes.
thrives in war, right? Like, like he was out there and he was competing, but like he's also like looking like he's having the time of his life.
Yes.
So like that's super important, and hopefully that the other players pick up on that. Cass, we have to give Cass some
Big
love.
time.
He was going around
Big
like
time.
that's. We don't need you to score 10 goals, man. Just go around and impose your physical dominance on these guys and smash everyone you
Loved
see
it.
and get it. Yeah, and he did that. So all
He
that
looks
stuff
good with
goes a
that
long way.
shiner too, eh?
Oh, I know he
It's a
looks mean
vibe.
playoff Cast. So I'm happy that he has shown up, and that's going to go a long way. Fogel was laying the body really well.
I like
We're
Fogel.
putting I know we're going to talk about the lineup. Archie's in the lineup. He's going to throw the body, so the physicality is going to take another step forward going into tonight.
Yeah.
Guys, let's read some. Do you want me to read some comments?
it
Everyone's
up.
fired up. We got Jake saying that this is a must-win for the Oilers, but no reason to panic yet. I actually really love that perspective. Will saying, "Let's go, Oil." Will also says our 5-on-5 needs to get stronger,
It does.
and a lot of love for the Oilers. Just Yamamoto
yeah.
in general. Everyone's saying that Rogers was crazy. Our Facebook chat right now is popping, so we love to hear it, guys. We love to see it, and it's just such an exciting time because I was telling Jay and I was telling Tyler and Liam that game one, it was unfortunate the way it ended, but I'm so excited as a hockey fan to now see game two because there's so much more on the line, and I actually have a lot of faith in this Oilers team doing what they've done as of late. I think they kind of deviated from what they know in game one, but I have a lot of faith that they're going to go back to that system here in game two and really give us a good game and some excitement heading into a road trip to LA.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And it's great to see that people are still fired up on the
Yes.
live chats. And no one's lost faith after one game. And you shouldn't.
Some of us just needed a day to grieve. That's okay. But now we're back on. It's game day. It's game two. Now,
And,
drink the Kool-Aid. Let's go.
If you're gonna live and die on every loss or win, it's gonna be a long playoff run for you, right? Like if every day after a loss, you're just gonna be like, well, season's done. Like it's gonna be a long few weeks here.
Yes.
And
But a
I
fun
do
few
think
weeks.
it's going to be a long few weeks in the
Hell
sense
yeah.
that they're not getting bounced by LA. I think they win tonight. I think the Oilers will be fine on the road. Like there's not a lot of panic in my view of this team right now. I think they're good. They showed over 2.5 months that they're the best team, or they were one of the best teams in the NHL. Do you think the Florida Panthers are sitting there crapping their pants right now, being like, "Oh, we're down 1-0 to Washington. Season's done." Like,
Yeah.
no. Like, if you're going to beat a team in 6 games, you're going to lose twice. And last night was just one of the 2 losses the Oilers will suffer in this series.
100%.
Love that. All right, let's go into our lines presented by Jägerberger. And I think one of the most notable changes is Archibald's back as a bottom 6 player in that third line.
Yeah, so the top 6 is staying the same for the Oilers. It's going to go McDavid with Jesse Puljujärvi and who's on his left side? Evander Kane.
Well, but they called an audible during the game and they moved Yam up there.
Yeah, they did for a couple of shifts.
Yeah.
They were bouncing him around a little bit because Puljujärvi didn't play a ton at 5-on-5. Puljujärvi's the guy they need more from tonight.
Yep.
And if he brings more, he'll play more than 7.5 minutes at 5-on-5.
100%.
The second line is going to be Draisaitl with Yamamoto, and on the left side there is Hyman. I like that
Oh,
trio.
Hyman is another shout out. Shout out to Hyman. He's-
Hyman was a machine.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy you guys have him.
you love a good Zach Hyman
he's
performance.
just his work ethic.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about, like, I love skill, I love talent. Like I could watch Connor all day, but the work ethic that Hyman brings is just valuable.
He was good.
He was good. Okay, sorry, continue,
The
Tyler.
third line. This is where it gets interesting. Josh Archibald's back in the lineup.
Yeah.
He's going to play on the third line, we'll call it, with Derek Ryan and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Yeah.
I don't love that trio. Josh Archibald finished the year well against Vancouver in that last game, but he didn't do a lot of good when he was playing. Last time he was in a playoff game, we all remember the penalty. I just don't think there's enough support on that third line for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who also didn't have a good game one.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, to support Nuge, yeah, I can understand that argument, but I can assure you Archibald's going to hit everything in sight.
I would have gone with Archibald and Cassian on the fourth line, one of the guys on their off wing,
Yep.
and I would have just had like a Bash Brothers fourth line
that's
with
fair.
McLeod down the middle.
And, but you know what though? That probably is what's going to happen throughout the game.
Probably, because then the fourth line, and I think they might play more than what I just called the third line, But Cassian, Fogle, McLeod, I think that trio actually has some potential here.
Oh, 100%. Because, like, Fogle and Cassian have skill to their game.
They can score when they get going, yeah.
But if they're going to go and compete and win and do the tough work, McLeod can just buzz around and be his beautiful self, just buzzing around the ice and creating opportunities. Well, those guys are bashing guys and battling and knocking pucks loose. He can just go pick up. So I don't mind that dynamic as a line. You're right. That actually could be our third line.
What do you think of the decision to go away from 12 and 6? Because I look at someone like Darnell Nurse who struggled. Granted, Chris Russell struggled last game as well.
He cost a goal.
But like going away from 11 and 7, I don't know if I love it. But again, if you want to get Archibald in, because if you missed it, he's eligible to travel now. He has this. He got a letter from a cardiologist that says his myocarditis means he doesn't have to be vaccinated and he can fly. So he can play he's a player available going forward.
Interesting. Okay.
He's not just a homebody anymore.
All right. Well, that changes the dynamic. So then I guess you got to
go 12 and 6 then if you want him in. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to try it.
I'm not opposed to trying things. We lost game 1. We need to shake things up for game 2. I like that about Jay Woodcroft. We usually saw in the past Dave Tippett stuck to what he knew. Yeah. I think as a coach, your job is to be a little bit more creative and keep the other team on their toes. I don't mind that. Archibald, we haven't seen him as much, obviously, due to COVID and his health issues. That's the only area of concern. But I was talking to Mike, who's obviously been a diehard Oilers fan. He said exactly what Jay said. He loves Archibald just for the fact that he's going to hit everything in sight. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just need one of those moments like Cassian in game 1. I freaking loved to see it. Sometimes you just need a big hit to change everything.
Yeah.
And it gets the guys going.
Yeah. I wonder if Darnell Nurse took down Athanasiou's number to try to go after him after.
Yeah,
that was weird. That was situation. Weird. I don't know why that wasn't a penalty, but that was a weird hit, and so I'm interested to see kind of what happens there.
So the D pairings for the Oilers are going to be same as always: Nurse with CC, Keith with Bouchard, and the third pairing will be Kulak with Barry. Tyson Barrie barely played, and something I found interesting: last minute of the game, down by a goal, who was the D man on the ice? It was Bouchard. Mm-hmm. They didn't go with Tyson Barrie, so I think that was maybe a bit of a nudge from Jay Woodcroft to maybe a guy like Barrie saying, hey, you need to be better if you want to be the guy on the ice in the last minute like that.
We got some questions about Jesse Puljujärvi. How do we think about his performances as of late, or do we still think he's a little ill?
He was just a perimeter guy in game 1, and you can't be a perimeter player. He didn't get a ton of ice time, so I don't want to be too hard on him. We remember last time he was injured, it took him a while to really get back up to speed. He needs to just, like, early in the year, when he was playing so well, a big reason why is because he didn't try to play like a skill player. Yeah. He tried to play like a 6'4", 6'5" power forward. Yeah. He needs to use his body, stick on the ice, play the simplest game possible, and just drive to the net and let Connor McDavid and Evander Kane do all the hard work around you and just get your body to the net.
Forecheck your ass off, which is what that's what was producing all those amazing underlying numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So just go and do that. Simplify your game right now. Offense will come. Just be net front, and it'll come. And even if it doesn't, you're contributing to your line's offense, which is, it's about the team first. It's about the team winning. It's about the team scoring. And if doing all that stuff contributes to that, go back to that. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. He might not be feeling well. He still might be, part of the, recovery from what he had. And, he could still be battling a nagging injury, right? Yeah. So, maybe coach picked up on that and limited his minutes because he couldn't give him his best, and that's fine. That's coaching.
Yeah. For the Kings, the big piece of news from their lineup, everything's going to stay the same, which means no Victor Arvidsson for LA. So he's a key guy for them. They're not going to have him for a second straight game. But still, that second line with Danault and Moore, that was a pain in the Oilers' side in that last game. So finding a way to win those matchups at 5-on-5, that's number one, top of the list in my keys to victory tonight, is you need to find a way to either get Draisaitl away from Danault more, or just flat out, you need to just beat the Kings at 5-on-5. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and give Jonathan Quick a little bit of respect. He played pretty good.
Yeah,
we got 3 on him, but he played pretty good. He made his lateral movement is crazy. So you
got to find a way to beat him though. They had good.
Well, it's don't handle the puck. Just get it off your stick.
Yeah.
That happened twice.
And go to the net. He's a short goalie.
Draisaitl both handled the puck a little bit, overhandled it. You just exactly right. But he is quick. pun intended, like side to side. Like he I don't know how he leapt without even having an edge on the ice to go cross ice to cover that one.
Yeah.
But that's what Jonathan Quick can do. So we just have to get those shots off quicker.
And again, if you get bodies going to the net, and Puljujarvi's got to be one of those guys, pretty much all, Fogle, Cassian, Kane,
Yeah,
you name
get
it,
in his
they
grill.
all have to go to the net, get in his grill.
He'll
And you
take a
know what?
penalty.
Even if you don't deserve a goal, sometimes when you go hard to the net, one just bounces off your leg or hits your stick when you don't mean to, or you're just providing a
Well, that was the
distraction to the
game-winning
defenseman. Well, right, like that should be, the Oilers should watch that and be like, you know what? We need to do that. Just
Yeah.
go to the net, let it hit you, and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'd love to inspire Oilers fans that are going to the game. Instead of calling him Jonathan Quick, if we want to kind of heckle him, we should call him Jonathan Slow. I think
Yeah.
that's actually really funny.
He's got to slow down.
He's got to slow down, get
Hell
in his
yeah.
head, and
There
maybe
was-
like manifest some slower
Yeah.
speed for him.
There was a couple of pretty good, like, pom-poms going, like, quick.
He
Love
needs a
that.
2-syllable name, though. You know,
It
like,
wasn't bad, though, when I heard
it's
it.
so like, what about Jonathan?
Slow.
Slow.
Also, Jay, because we were talking about this game one, what jersey did you end up wearing, and what jersey are you not going to end up wearing tonight? Because we got to
that's-
switch the energy.
That is the question, Caroline. I decided to wear my Bison King orange jersey because I wanted to be part of the Orange Crush. I wanted to be part of, we were told to wear orange. I wanted to do my duty, but I'm torn. I might need to have to dust off an oldie and bring back
Letestu.
some Mark Letestu energy.
Okay.
Because that guy was a playoff vibe, and that guy showed up. So bring some Mark Letestu energy into the
Perfect.
building, or we'll see. I might wear my orange Jason Strudwick. We'll see.
Okay, perfect.
Struddy, nice. I went with the navy blue last game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with Letestu. It's the navy blue.
Oh.
Or sorry, not the navy blue. It's the royal blue.
Royal blue. Okay. I think I might go orange. Might go orange today.
gotta
Fit in
switch
with
it
the
up.
crowd. You
Gotta
gotta
switch it up,
mix
whatever
the
we're
vibes,
doing,
yeah.
guys.
I'm wearing different shoes. I'm going different jersey, different hat.
Bleaching your hair, bleaching your beard, everything.
Everything is just slightly going to be slightly different. Got to do my part.
I love it. All right, let's get into the bet of the game presented by PointsBet.
Yeah, the Oilers are favorites coming into this game. Minus 206 on the money line, plus 130 on the puck line. Are you puck line confident, or are you
Yeah.
Oilers in regulation at minus 125?
Well, so I'm trying. I'm gonna bet with the effort of trying to manifest.
Okay.
Love that.
Right? Sometimes
Okay.
that has to happen. So what should the Oilers do today is they should whoop the Kings, whether it be 2-0, 3-1, 4-1.
Yep.
It has to be a convincing win. So I'm going to bet accordingly. But the second bet, you know what because we're the favorite. We're favored to win. So our money line odds always suck.
Yeah.
Our pre-series odds sucked. Now that we lost game one, our pre-series odds are not bad.
Minus
so I bet
110.
so I bet on the series.
That's
Smart.
not a bad play.
All right, so that was great. So I'm going puck line today, and I'm going Oilers to win the series.
I like taking, so PointsBet has like a double parlay where you can do McDavid to score and the Oilers to win plus 125. Draisaitl to score, Oilers to win plus 125. I kind of like taking both of those. Just
yeah.
rolling the dice. Why not?
One's
I
hitting.
mean, if one hits, you're still up a little bit of money. If they both hit, you're loving life. You're getting positive odds. The other one, too, Kyler Yamamoto to score and an Oilers
Yes.
win, plus
Oh.
350.
I would take that 100. I'd take that.
Last game I hammered. For some reason, they had Kyler Yamamoto 1 point over 0.5 at plus 120.
Oh, yeah, you got to hit that
So
if,
yes,
if you can
Yamo.
get it
Yeah, you
again.
got to be Yamo. Yamo's, there's no way he doesn't keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
That guy was an energizer bunny.
Yeah, I
he was
believe Yamo is our pulse.
Little Yamo
I
fry.
also like the McDavid shot prop again. I think he's just going to be buzzing tonight. You know he
He's
does.
mad.
Yeah, and
They're all mad.
yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, and I think McDavid's just going to be absolutely flying again tonight. So I like that. Also, last game, I took the Jonathan Quick over 30.5 saves.
How dare you?
No, because I know the Oilers are going to put up 40 shots.
Yeah, I know, but we want to let in 10.
I know,
What are you
but
trying to manifest, Tyler?
I'm just trying to manifest the Oilers
Unacceptable.
peppering Jonathan Quick. So I like it.
All right, guys.
good
Anything
spot.
else to say before we head into game 2 with the pressure on? But we like the pressure. So we're feeling good about it.
Embrace
today.
the energy.
Yes.
Stay calm. Play your game. Oilers Nation believes in this squad.
Yes.
And we're at Beercade for now. Come back tonight to watch the game. Beercade on White. They're going to have a ton of prizes to give away. You can go to our Instagram, see some examples of those prizes, even potentially. There is a lot of good stuff going on down here. I think Nation Dan is hosting again tonight. So if you want a spot that is loaded with passionate Oilers fans, Beercade on White is where you need to be tonight.
And there was questions about Nation Gear in the chat. So will there be Nation Gear being sold here tonight? And yes,
that.
everything, right?
We will
Look at
have,
that.
there's always
There's
a
another one
pop-up
there.
at our events. We got
Another
our playoff gear. We got our new orange Play La Bamba shirt with the Joey Easter egg, which we always love. Shout out Joey Moss.
There you go.
And yeah, no, we're in, like I said, lots of events, raising money for local charity as well during this event with all these good prizes that our partners have brought together for us. So everyone, bring good positive vibes,
Yep.
believe, and we will achieve.
I love that.
Hopefully Rogers is just as rocking in game 2 as it
It's
was
a
in game
vibe.
1.
It's
It
a
was
vibe.
unreal in there. Unreal in
Like,
there.
the ice dish, like the plaza
Yeah.
out there. Like I was
Full marks to the organization. I don't do that a lot for their like game presentation,
all the
but they
video?
knocked it out of the park.
Oh my god,
Unreal.
the chills! It just everyone's going crazy. It got me going silent. That means I'm in.
I was in
locked
awe.
emotionally.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, everyone. This has been your Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. We're here at Beercade, and if we don't see you here tonight at Beercade, we'll see you at the game or on Twitter, and we'll be here at Game 3.